the multi-team event. 18 points, 13 rebounds against the Dons of USF and then the Nittany Lions of Penn State as Clemson rallied in each ball game to get a victory and get their 6th win of the year with the win against Penn State earlier this week. Now they go at it for a 4th time against Florida A&M out of Tallahassee. 3-0 Tiger lead in the series. FAMU, a team with 10 newcomers, many in their rotation. Caleb Washington. Shot clock under 5. First shot of the ball game. It comes down to Jadarius Eatman. They'll reset.
And so Clemson's going to put Florida A&M in a lot of late shot clock situations. They've got to clean up on the glass to be able to finish the possession.
Eatman, sizable, 6'10", 235. Schieffelin, his first rebound of the night. Tiger lineup becoming consistent inside Victor Locken, the Cincinnati transfer with the first bucket of the game.
I really think Victor Locken's passing is what we've seen grow early in the season. That high-low pass was really well executed to Ian Schieffelin, led to the layup.
Locken, 15 points in the 2 games combined in Daytona Beach in that event. On the wing, Florida A&M across the lane. Shakir O'Neal looked like he traveled. And Schieffelin pulls down the miss. Tigers coming into the ball game, doing some solid things offensively, just under 80 a contest. Locken going to work and an early foul. So what are the keys to the game, my friend, Mr. Powell?
Yeah, sure. First of all, for Florida A&M, they've got to be able to control the paint. We've seen in the first 2 possessions by Clemson, high-low feeds. They want to be able to throw the ball down inside. And then for Clemson, so much of their growth this season has been about their defensive pressure. They want to continue to pressure Florida A&M, be up there, up full court on their guards, try to cause some turnovers and speed them up.
Jadarius Eatman picking up his first personal. Locken, 6'11", 245 pounds, originally from Russia. 65% from the line this year.
Victor Locken really played well in Daytona Beach, Florida. As I said a minute ago, he's really started to settle into his role, started to score the ball better for the Tigers.
Saeed Burnside coming up with a loose ball. He's back in his home area, played at Wade Hampton High for Reggie Choplin over in Greenville, now in his 5th year on the college level. They go to work Trey Lewis out front for Florida A&M. O'Neal, a Texas Southern transfer, with the ball.
And this is a Florida A&M team, Pete, that's going to really try to run their sets, move the ball side to side, will play through the elbow some, and then throw it down into the post.
Burnside, shot clock low, deflected. Burnside doesn't realize how low the shot clock is, and it's a violation.
3 possessions, Florida A&M has gotten under 10 seconds in the shot clock. Each time, Clemson's been able to clean up the possession.
Tigers have really sealed things nicely so far.
It's a really nice double coming right here from Victor Locken. Comes with his hands up. Chauncy Wiggins rotates down inside, and it leads to the turnover.
First meeting for this Florida A&M team against Clemson since 2015. Schieffelin, little mid-range action from the baseline.
And you continue to see those 2 post players work together offensively. The ball went into the high post against the zone, sprayed it out, knocked it down.
5-0 advantage. Rattlers on the season averaging 71 points a game. They've been outscored by nearly 18 points a contest. They have been on the road quite a bit against some high major teams. But there's O'Neal, who had a solid ball game the last time out, a career high of 26 against Trinity Baptist, an NAIA school. Jaden Zachary realized he had an opportunity and took advantage of it.
The Tigers continue to try to get the ball down in the paint. Jaden Zachary now driving the ball, using his size and his strength to score inside.
Out high, Eatman, guy their head coach, Patrick Crary, speaking highly of this morning at their shoot-around. Not going to go for Lewis, one of their better outside shooters. Tigers looking to build on this early 5-point lead.
And Florida A&M can really shoot the basketball. They're averaging 7 made threes per game right now, and they're going to run their stuff. They're going to make Clemson guard.
Good work by O'Neal, comes up with his 3rd steal of the season. Lewis with the ball. His first season with the Rattlers came from the junior college ranks out in Iowa. Jefferson Defended by Chauncy Wiggins. Another deep count on the shot clock, and Chase Hunter deflecting it out of bounds.
Really nice job right there by Chauncy Wiggins, continuing to move his feet on the perimeter, has his hands up. Chase Hunter gets the deflection. As we said in the opening, I think that the Clemson defense is what we've really seen emerge in November so far. Whenever they've been able to hold opponents under 70, 75 points per game, they've been really effective on the offensive end.
6 on the shot clock as the Rattlers inbound. Roderick Coffey just into the game. Let's see if O'Neal realizes the time situation. I believe Coffey does. He'll force for 3. And he uses the window. First made 3 of the game for a team that really emphasizes that, especially when they're playing an ACC ball club on the road. They're back within a couple.
Really nice contest by Chauncy Wiggins. Got his hand up. Coffey just was able to bank it in off the glass.
Here's Wiggins looking to return fire. Chauncy Wiggins, 35% beyond the arc, at 14 in the Tuesday win against Penn State.
Chauncy continues to grow as a scorer. Coach Brownell wants to see him improve on the defensive end and particularly on the glass.
Milton Matthews, second leading scorer on their team, halfway down the lane. Nice finish, averages 11 a game. Just outside of Washington, D.C., same area where his head coach Patrick Crary grew up. Lock-in on the feed. Goes right around Jameen Charles, a 6'11", 220-pounder.
A really nice high-low pass again there by the Tigers to set him up in the lane.
Coffey pulls up. Now suddenly the Rattlers heating up. Came in at 32% beyond the arc. Their head coach hoping they can get up in the high 30s. If they do, he think they'll be really good. You're not going to see a lot of mid-range jumpers out of them. On the other end, Tigers trying to score in lots of ways. Schieffelin, after Wiggins was fouled. Take a timeout with Clemson up by 2 early on. Patrick Crary coaching his 6th game, guiding the Florida A&M Rattlers. They're trying to shake a run of 17 consecutive losing seasons. He was in the NAIA ranks, talked today about how he and his staff are making the adjustment now to D1, but you can tell he's got a handle on how he wants his team to play. And trying to make an impact in the Southwestern Athletic Conference. Brad Brownell winning as coach at Clemson, going for his 272nd victory guide in the Tigers, and if he can win tonight, it'll be number 439 in his long coaching career, now in year number 15. You noticed an interesting stat on Patrick Crary in terms of his college coaching.
Yeah, very impressed with Patrick just in terms of 14 years now as a head coach. He's a younger head coach, but to do that for 14 years, the experience that you gain from that, and 3 times he's been the coach of the year in his league. And so really high-level coach. Going to do a great job at Florida A&M. Obviously, it's a building program, 10 new players, as you mentioned, but he knows what he's doing.
And he's always been a head coach, as Crary, who guides Florida A&M now on the college level. Never a college assistant. Had some high school coaching. After the Wiggins free throws, launching from downtown, Milton Matthews. He came along with Patrick Crary from St. Thomas in the Miami area.
And he's a player that made 11 threes in a game one time last year at St. Thomas, so he can really shoot the basketball.
Zachary, Tigers Boston College transfer. Dylan Hunter on the floor. Schieffelin made a jumper from there moments ago. Swings it to Zachary. Shot clock under 10. Here's Chase Hunter crossing over on Matthews. Fouled hard, and he'll go to the line. Might have taken a poke in the eye.
And this is the lineup that we're seeing more and more from head coach Brad Brownell. He's got the 3 guards out there: Jaden Zachary, Dylan Jones, Chase Hunter. A lot of ball handling, a lot of speed, can really defend on the basketball. Chase Hunter attacking the rim right here. This lineup can spread the floor as well because they can shoot the basketball. Opens up a lot of driving angles.
They get Saeed Burnside with the personal. And for the Wade Hampton High alum, that's his 2nd early on. He heads to the bench. Back on the floor, Charles. Burnside actually in his 2nd stint at FAMU. He went out to the junior college ranks, Conard State in Oklahoma. Made the national championship tournament there, but then returned to finish up his degree at the school in Tallahassee.
And you mentioned Reggie Chaplin earlier, one of my favorite high school coaches in the state of South Carolina. The Greenville native does an incredible job with his program. You know he's proud of Burnside.
Well, the Hunter brothers, of course, have had a most interesting couple of weeks, each achieving his career high.
Yeah, both of these guys, Chase with 30 against Boise State. All his brother did was follow that up with 15 against Radford. But both of these were career highs for each player. Really speaks to the growth of them, but especially Dylan, because the Tigers are going to need some guys to come alongside Chase if they're going to be effective offensively this season.
Coffee, the nice hop step, making it a 1-point game. Tigers having a tough time shaking the Rattlers in the early going. Reeves just checked in, swings it. Dylan Hunter. Schieffelin battling and unable to keep it in play. Goes back the other way. Really nice move by Roderick Coffey, Pensacola State transfer.
Yeah, Coffey's a really talented driver. Gets to the rim right here, able to finish it with his left hand. Florida A&M is going to spread you out, run their actions. They know they want to shoot it from 3, and it's going to create some driving opportunities.
Coffey not far from that turnover. He's in his 2nd season with the Rattlers, one of the few who came back, along with the big man Eatman. Del Jones, Tigers freshman point guard, on the floor. Hunter and Schieffelin out high. The lob for Reeves knocked away. Eatman getting a hand on it for FAMU. They have a chance to take their first lead after falling behind early 5-0, and it'll go the other way. The bad entry pass toward Caleb Washington.
And Del Jones, as you said, has checked in for the Tigers. 10 points against Penn State on Tuesday. I really felt like the freshman's energy, his scoring ability, and his confidence really helped the Tigers come out of there with 2 wins in Florida.
Washington defending Hunter out high. Hunter explores. Reeves. Schieffelin. Couldn't get it to go. Brad Brownell wants him to take more 3-pointers. He had attempted just 15 coming into the night. And Schieffelin just 27% beyond the arc on the season with those 15 attempts before that miss. Once again out high, Matthews, not that time. Battling for the rebound, Eatman winning it with a throwdown, and FAMU moves in front.
Great job by the Rattlers being able to be on the offensive glass. Christian Reeves got caught contesting that jumper, leaving Schieffelin by himself on the defensive glass.
Unable to answer on the other end, and Washington comes away with it. Washington out of Mableton, Georgia, came to them from Butler Community College. Whereas the transfer portal at the high major level and even the mid-major level tends to be guys from four-year schools. Florida A&M bringing a lot of junior college players on board over the past couple of seasons. Shot clock again under 5. Coffee with Schieffelin in his face. Would have counted had it gone. Another rebound for the Tigers, big man. 5 so far for Schieffelin. Zachary accelerates. Jones from the wing. And Reeves is pushed. Florida A&M not going away. They recently played down in Gainesville and hung tough with the Gators of Florida.
They did a great job on the offensive glass right here by Jadarian Eatman. Finishes it with 2 hands at the rim.
Ian Schieffelin typifying his play this season with this sequence and the win over San Francisco on Monday.
This is a Clemson basketball team that's really learning who they are right now, the grittiness and the toughness. Ian Schieffelin on this underneath out of bounds play knocks the basketball away, and an all ACC player runs it down from behind, and Chase Hunter to put it in the rim. That's what Clemson basketball is going to have to be about this season, particularly as they continue to find their way on the offensive end, trying to create extra baskets just like that. And Ian Schieffelin did a great job down there, was also named the MVP of the Sunshine Slam.
Gets a breather in this stretch. Took Heidbreeder on the court for the first time tonight. And so is Miles Foster. Skipping it to Hunter. Foster. Battling inside on Charles. Shot clock On 15, Hunter, little pull-up. Chase Hunter can't get that one to fall. Tigers coming up empty with their opportunities. 5 of 13 from the field so far. Matthews the step back over Hydebreeder. And Wiggins and the Tigers will head the other way.
And here's where Clemson wants to be effective. Get stops, rebound it, get out in transition where they can get shots like that.
Hunter uses the glass.
Great outlet pass by Chauncy Wiggins right there to pitch it ahead. Able to find Chase Hunter. He's able to get to the pull-up.
Tigers were 0 for their last 7 for the field. They move back in front. Florida A&M 1-4 on the year, but having gone out to the Dallas Metroplex and lost to TCU and SMU, and also road losses at Maryland and Florida. Let's see. Last touch by Florida A&M. Tigers doing a good job cleaning the glass and getting points as a result on the other end.
And this is where Chauncy Wiggins' game has got to continue to grow, especially on the defensive end, because then it allows him to get into transition. Grab that rebound, pitched it ahead. Chase Hunter able to knock down that mid-range pull-up.
Florida A&M playing 7 guarantee games where they go on the road against a high major opponent. The check they receive in return is a big part of funding their athletic program. Wiggins. And taken off the floor by Coffey. And so when you're doing that, a lot of your focus is getting ready for what will be a tough run in the Southwestern Athletic Conference. But Patrick Crary, their head coach, is Hydebreeder, able to create the turnover for Clemson. Saying before the game, he wants to play with pace and up-tempo style, but he really can't do that when you're playing the likes of Clemson, Maryland. You can't get in a track meet. You'll get run out of the gym early.
Yeah, and his staff even talked about it. They're just trying to find wins within the game right now. They're playing an incredibly tough schedule. Patrick's got an idea of how he wants to play, how he's been successful. And so you just got to keep finding those small opportunities, just like they did on that offensive rebound just a minute ago. Find the small wins when you're playing a schedule as hard as they are.
Hunter with Schieffelin back on the floor. Ian on the drive. Hunter. Looks like they've gone zone. Zachary hung up. Shot clock under 10. Schieffelin tries from the right wing. And off the leg of Chase Hunter. I saw them working some zone during their shoot-around today, and it looks like they'll switch into that every so often.
Yeah, Patrick Crary wants to change defenses. He's been a very successful head coach, as we've talked about. So he knows he can't play one defense against a team like Clemson, or when they get into the SWAC later in the season. They've got to be able to change up and keep teams off balance.
Coffey, an Ohio native. Backs in on Hunter. And Lockett pulling down the board. First rebound of the night for the Tigers post player who came from Cincinnati. Feeding it inside, lock-in for Hunter, and a foul will be called. It'll be the second on Eatman. So Burnside and Eatman, 2 of their bigs, with 2 fouls here in the opening half, with about 8.5 to go.
And another really nice post feed by Victor Locken. Previous game, I really felt like the Tiger guards were struggling to get the ball inside to the post players. But when it's post to post, they're having a ton of success right now.
Hydebreeder, one of the better Tiger shooters, away from the ball, contact, and the foul will go against Washington of FAMU. So foul's starting to mount on the Florida A&M team.
And a lot of that has to do with the way Clemson's trying to play right now. They're struggling a little bit from 3. Clemson wants to throw the ball inside to set up the 3s on the outside. Those post feeds are leading to fouls.
6 on the Rattlers. Schieffelin getting a breather. Feed inside. Foster, 6'6", but he plays so much bigger in his stops at Monmouth and Illinois State before arriving here this season.
And that's where I think Miles Foster can really help this team, when he can catch it close to the basket, where he can get to that right shoulder and score the basketball.
Off the glass for O'Neal, and 1. Shakir O'Neal on the other end. Foster, though, weaving nicely at 6'6".
Really nice post feed right there by Jaden Zachary. Allows Foster to get to that right shoulder, but then on the other end, Florida A&M wasting no time, pushing the ball quickly in transition. O'Neal able to knock down that 3.
2 banked threes on the night for the Florida A&M team. O'Neal's a 36% shooter from long range. And he gives us our 3rd lead change of the opening half.
And those 2 bank threes as a staff defensively, Clemson, they know that they've contested those threes. They were fortunate to knock them in, but you got to continue to get your hand up.
O'Neal after Charles forced the turnover. Rattlers go up by 3. O'Neal scored 26 his last time out, managed just 2 against Florida, though, a couple of games ago. But they had their first win of the year decisively at home against Trinity Christian about a week ago. Lock-in, getting it to Hydebreeder now. Looking low, Foster. Lock-in, likes to step out.
Again, another great post-to-post pass right there. Ball was fed into Miles Foster, able to kick it out to Victor Lock-in. Tigers finally get one of those threes to fall.
5 on the night before he was able to convert. Game tied up 23. Lock-in just 20% beyond the arc coming in. Bounce pass, nice find, Coffey, and the finish down low by Jameen Charles, originally from Antigua, came from Blinn Junior College.
And that was a defensive breakdown right there by the Tigers. They got screwed up on a switch. Rattlers able to get downhill. Nobody rotated to take the dump down.
Lock-in, no look. Foster contact. Offensive foul. They'll get Miles Foster on the personal. Foster, an aggressive player down low, but a little bit too much that time.
Great job on the block, moving his feet by the Rattlers, able to take that charge. Ball's going the other way. So much of being a really quality defensive team is all about communication. So right here, Florida A&M is going to get into this ball screen with Caleb Washington. Let's freeze it. This is a guard-to-guard ball screen between Jaden Zachary and Jake Hydebreeder. So they've got to communicate, but give Caleb Washington credit. He's going to slip out of this, causing the confusion in the slip, in the switch, able to drive it downhill and find that dump down. Really nice action right there by the Rattlers of just being able to get into that, slipping that out, causing that confusion that led to the drive that led to the layup.
Florida A&M trying to build on a 2-point advantage. They trailed early on 5-0. Once again from outside where he loves to live, Milton Matthews. 32% beyond the arc. He has come off the bench and given them a boost. They're up by 5.
And that was another guard-to-guard ball screen right there. That's giving the Tigers problems.
Zachary with the answer. Tigers have gone through some cold stretches tonight. Jaden Zachary able to pull him back within 3. Matthews and O'Neal, 8 points apiece for Florida A&M. Here's Washington. Finger roll, couldn't get the second effort. Zachary and the Tigers push it the other way. Zachary kicks. Hunter fires. Wiggins. And they'll reset with Schieffelin. Nice job, Washington. Rather, Matthews stepping in front of that one with the steal, his second of the season.
Really bad decision right there by Ian Schieffelin. Tigers had gotten the offensive rebound, tried to skip it across the court without squaring up his body. It led to a turnover.
Matthews thought about the jumper, tried to get it to Burnside. Knocked away Schieffelin. Here comes Dylan Hunter. To his older brother on the drive. He'll head to the line.
Nice job by Chase Hunter right there, able to get out in transition. Knows that the Tigers need to play at the rim right now, try to get to the free throw line. Able to get fouled. Dylan Hunter does a terrific job on that steal to the outlet, able to allow Chase and his brother to play at the rim and able to get to the free throw line.
Tigers leading scorer, better than 16 a game. 4 points so far in the night, 77% from the free throw line.
Chase Hunter was also an all-tournament team member down in Daytona, Florida at the Sunshine Slam. Played really well, but the biggest thing for the Tigers, other than the defensive part, was they started to get more balance from some other guys. Started to get a little bit more scoring to where Chase doesn't have to do it all by himself.
Hunter had 17 in Tuesday's win against Penn State. He's got a half a dozen so far tonight, back to a 1-point game. Their top threats from the outside. Matthews can't get it to fall. Schieffelin looking ahead for Dylan Hunter. A little bit too long. Good job by the Rattlers to get back. Here's Zachary.
Great job in transition right there by the Tigers. That's a really nice outlet pass by Ian Schieffelin. Dylan Hunter waits for Victor Locken, and he's able to score it at the rim.
Back and forth over the past 7 minutes or so of game time. 4 lead changes. They've been going deep in the shot clock. Burnside, the Greenville native. Schieffelin defending. Coffee from the corner. Hunter swatting it out, and Dylan Hunter takes it. Chase Hunter from afar. Washington battling with Schieffelin, and it'll go back over to the Rattlers. Good recognition off the rebound moments ago for the Tigers.
I think it's one of the best things that Ian Schieffelin does is his ability to clear that defensive rebound and get it up ahead and allow them to play in transition. That allowed Jaden Zachary to play downhill, get to the rim. He's done a great job of that so far this season. But it all started with the outlet pass, and I think it's one of the best things that Ian Schieffelin does.
Brad Brownell says the progress Ian Schieffelin's made in his career, lots of ways you can look at it. One area, he plays really well off 2 feet, and that's a staple of how Brad Brownell likes to coach.
So much of the player development portion of it is a huge part of Clemson basketball. You've seen players get better year after year, and Ian Schieffelin is a great example of that.
Zachary guarding Coffee, went around one of the better defensive guards in the ACC. Roderick Coffee in double figures with 10 points. Wiggins inside, battling the 6'11 Charles.
And Chauncy Wiggins going on the block right there was a big part of what had allowed him to be successful at Penn State. Great finish at the rim.
The second annual SEC ACC Challenge begins Tuesday night. These are 4 featured men's basketball matchups. Number 19 Arkansas and Miami. Coverage begins at 7 Eastern on ESPN2. And our ESPN doubleheader has 7th-ranked Tennessee hosting Syracuse and Knoxville at 7:30, followed by number 8 Kentucky here in Littlejohn against the Clemson Tigers, in a series that has had some moments over the years. Remember 1996 in Indianapolis, early on in that 96-97 season, the winning bucket by Greg Buckner. That team went on to the Sweet 16, and of course Brad Brownell getting the Tigers back to that level a few years back when they were able to make it all the way to Omaha and face the Kansas Jayhawks, and of course last year with the run to the Elite Eight.
And I think the biggest thing that stood out to me about this matchup with Kentucky, talking to the staff and to Brad Brownell over the summer, to get Kentucky and Clemson for the first time since 1933 in the SEC ACC Challenge speaks so highly of where the program is right now. I can't think of a more anticipated matchup, but especially non-conference matchup, to be played in Littlejohn Coliseum in decades.
Tuesday night, 9:30. Should have a packed house. Got a really good crowd tonight on the eve of the Palmetto Rivalry Showdown on the gridiron across the street at noon tomorrow. Tigers forcing another turnover.
So the Rattlers are turning the basketball over, but they've made 5 threes. That's really kept them in the game, had them with the lead for much of the first half.
O'Neal flying in, pulling it down. Rattlers have given it up 7 times. They came in averaging over 15 a game. Tigers forcing about 15 a contest out of their opponents in the turnover stat. Coffee off to a good start. Teardrop runner, no. Lock-in comes away with it. Schieffelin, now Zachary. Zachary loves to cross the lane, and it'll go to the line.
Another great defensive rebound into transition right there by the Tigers. Florida A&M is crashing the glass, getting their hands on basketballs, but Victor Lock-in gets it to end Schieffelin, who pitches it ahead. Jaden Zachary able to finish at the rim, use that strength, and get to the basket.
Zachary, part of the Boston College pipeline. Originally from Salem, Wisconsin. Had 8 points against Penn State Tuesday, 7 against San Francisco on the Monday win. And of course, one of the better defensive players among the steals leaders year in and year out in his time at BC. And the Tigers leader coming in with 13. And now he's got 9 in the game. And Clemson's lead back out to 4.
I've been so impressed with Jaden Zachary early in the season so far. He is a great compliment to head coach Brad Brownell. Just his defensive intensity. He's a coach on the floor. He's willing to move the basketball. Really talented player for the Tigers.
Sterling Young just on the floor. Rattlers turn it over again. Dylan Hunter exploring the baseline. Here's Schieffelin. And Dylan Hunter flies up there, using all of that 6'3" height to tap it in. And a 6-point lead. A timeout here in Littlejohn. With J.D. Powell, Pete Hannity here in Littlejohn Coliseum. Tigers on a 7-0 run to build the 36-30 lead as we approach halftime. How about Dylan Hunter in the shadow of his older brother, and rightfully so during his time here at Clemson, but continuing to grow in this season has been a big step, I think, over the first month.
It really has, but his ability to just get his hands on basketballs. I'm a big believer as a basketball coach, the basketball rewards energy. And so whether it's a defensive deflection or an offensive rebound, Dylan Hunter shows his willingness to continue to do that, and it's sparked his offense this season.
Roderick Coffey, one of the good ball handlers on this Rattlers team. Back on the floor, Eatman with those 2 personal fouls, and he uses the glass going over Lock-in. Nice design play out of the timeout by Patrick Crary, the first-year head coach of the Rattlers. Lock-in looking low. Hunter. Dylan Hunter. Lock-in. Shot clock coming up on 5. Hunter way out there has a 6'10" player in his face, fired it over Eatman, and it comes down to Coffee.
Really nice defensive possession right there by Florida A&M, continuing to move their feet, keep the basketball in front of them. When they've kept it out of the paint, the Rattlers have been really good defensively.
Eatman coming in averaging about 4 a game. A guy they're going to rely on a bunch, especially when they get into conference play. Double team preventing the pass down low. And a timeout is called by Coffee as Zachary was going for the steal. We'll take another break here in Littlejohn. Florida A&M hanging around already with games this year against a Big 12 team, TCU. They face an ACC foe, the newcomer SMU, Big 10 team Maryland, and SEC team Florida all on the road. Now they're back on an ACC floor. You know, Patrick Crary, though, just watching them go through their workout here at midday, and he and his staff, they've come into a program that's gone nearly 2 decades without a winning campaign, but he's got an idea as to how he wants to build this thing. I have a feeling he's going to have some success. School that's right up against the Florida State campus, neighboring colleges in the Florida State Capitol. Washington to beat the buzzer. Schieffelin another rebound, keeps his balance. Ian Schieffelin, who had the double-double the other day, in fact, a couple of them down in Florida, now with 8 rebounds. Zachary tried to kick it on the wing, knocked away. Here comes Matthews. And they'll reset, coming up on a minute to go in the half. Zachary trying to pick the pocket of Coffee on the runner. And they'll reset.
Jaden Zachary was very fortunate right there. Knocked the basketball away, but got out of position defensively, led to an open shot for Coffee.
Big on, big out high, and Hunter steps in to knock it away. Chase Hunter throwing it down. He's got 8. Meanwhile, on the other end, Jameen Charles looked like he might have taken a shot to the head or to the face. He'll get the attention of their athletic trainer. We hope he's okay. Guy who came to them from Blinn Junior College, maybe the most famous Blinn alum, is a guy who plays football named Cam Newton. But Charles, part of their plans this year, and their leading rebounder when the night began, nearly 5 a game.
And Pete, you mentioned Patrick Crary just building this program and it having his identity. 2 players going hard after a loose ball right there. Ran into each other, collided. But they continue to just play hard. I was really impressed watching them on film against Maryland. They held Maryland scoreless for over 5 minutes.
Appears that Washington, his teammate, is who he collided with. Washington did not go down. And now they'll help Jameen Charles to his feet. Brad Crow, the Clemson athletic trainer, also kind to help out as well. And we'll see what Charles' status is for the remainder of the game. He picked up his 2nd foul earlier. They're 3 big men who they rely on. Burnside, Eatman, and Charles, all with 2 personals apiece here in half number 1.
And so now Florida A&M had a chance to huddle as a team. They're going to get a set play action. 42 seconds on the game clock right now. So that means Clemson is going to get one more possession, probably somewhere 12 to 15 seconds. Brad Brunell has not used his first half use it or lose it timeout. So he'll either have called an action right there in the huddle or he'll call a timeout as soon as they get possession.
Matthews, Locken knocking it away. See the different shot clock to game clock. Washington, who bumped heads with Charles, stays in there. That's him with the ball. Burnside. Shot clock again under 10. Matthews off the screen from Eatman. Matthews, wild dribble. Burnside, and Hunter takes it away. Scrappy play by Chase Hunter. Under 5 to go. Can't get the bounce. And that's how we arrive at halftime.
Chase Hunter did a better job in the second half.
And just like that, appears to be an issue of some kind on the baseline. Not sure if there's a wet spot, but it appears to be the case, so they will attend to that.
Ron Groover immediately noticed it whenever he walked across the baseline right there. Ron is a long-time, high-level official in the ACC and across the country, but he stepped across the baseline. You could see him slip a little bit and immediately had him come wipe it up. Ron's one of the best in the business.
A.J. Desai and Nick Terry rounding out our officiating crew tonight. Back to work goes Clemson. He's trying for a 4th win in as many meetings against Florida A&M out of the SWAC. Wiggins open in the corner. Wide open, and a bomb from downtown for the Tigers junior.
Really nice ball movement right there. Came out of a ball screen roll. They were able to throw back, kept the ball moving. Great job finding Chauncy Wiggins in the corner.
And then forcing the turnover on the inbound. Clock violation.
Great extra pass right there by Jaden Zachary. Playing unselfish, moves it to the corner to Chauncy Wiggins, knocks down the wide open 3.
Ten turnovers in the game now for the Rattlers. Zachary off the handoff to Locken. And defending it, Matthews coming down with the rebound.
Again, Jaden Zachary able to get downhill right there. That's the kind of finish that they're going to need to get from him as they head into December and the schedule gets harder.
Washington out high. Again, the shot clock under 10. Tries to split defenders. Lock-in. Knocking it away, and it goes off Washington. And Clemson will get it back. Tigers coming out with some intensity. So often you see the first 4 minutes of the second half when you've got a high major against a mid-major really determine things because of the spark and the physicality and speed that an ACC team brings against an A&M can be tough to overcome.
Absolutely, and the Tigers are able to get right there, keep the ball in front of them, able to lead to that turnover.
Coffey in the front court. Came off the bench along with Matthews, a big part of the first half story as they were down by just 6 of the break. That's Matthews. Inside Burnside, he was off balance.
Really nice rotation defensively there by Victor Locken and Jaden Zachary, able to take care of that role and get to the defensive rebound.
Zachary. Hunter thinking about it. Eatman out to defend. Now inside Locken, reversing on Burnside. And Schieffelin couldn't save it.
Really nice move to the baseline there by Victor Locken. Almost looked like he got caught in between, wanting to use the glass and just finger roll it in, kind of got stuck. But good patience there in the post. Really nice post feed there by Chase Hunter as well.
Rattlers team coming in. Opponents shooting 46% from the field on them. And scoring nearly 89 points a game. But their head coach pointing out that their opening road trip, which was a 10-day swing from the Dallas area up to D.C., never really allowed them to have a normal practice. They stayed on the roll the whole time. And that time able to save a would-be turnover, and then the pretty feed, Matthews to Burnside.
Great job by Florida A&M there. Almost led to the turnover. They come up with a loose ball, able to play at the rim.
First bucket for Saeed Burnside, back in his home area. Greenville native, played at Wade Hampton High. Lock-in, no-look pass from Zachary. And the big postman for the Tigers will go to the line.
Great no-look pass there on the floor by Florida A&M. Jaden Zachary had knocked the basketball away, dove on the sideline, tried to keep it alive, but then another guy dives on the floor, ball gets flipped behind him. Great job by Florida A&M. Very impressed with the Rattlers tonight of just how hard they play, their willingness to attack the rim. You can see where this team has gotten better. Haven't played in 7 days now, had some of that practice time that's so valuable that you talked about. They've improved as the season has gone along.
Lock-in 2 for 3 on the night, 65% on free throws on the season. Burnside picking up his second personal. We'll see if Charles, another one of their post players, is able to return to action after bumping heads with his teammate Washington in the opening half. Tigers build the lead. Back out to 9. Matthews, second leading scorer, 11 a game coming in. Hunter went for the steal. Coffey. Now Matthews open with Schieffelin closing. And the Rattlers will reset. Eatman. Washington. Let's see who they get the foul on. Chase Hunter. And that'll be personal foul number 1.
Yeah, so the ball goes into the post right here. They had Chase Hunter on the block. Jadarius Eatman able to post him up. Chauncy Wiggins comes down, which is not a terrible double team, but nobody else rotated. You know, so clearly from a coaching standpoint, that's not one that Chauncy Wiggins' teammates were expecting. But so much on the defensive end is just making another effort play. And so Chauncy came down right there, somebody able to rotate, but unable to, and Caleb Washington goes to the free throw line.
Back-to-back misses for Washington. Rattlers over their past couple of games, 71 and 68% from the free throw line as a team, but coming up empty. Rare opportunities tonight. Hunter. Out high, Zachary open. Lock-in on the offensive board. Zachary on the finish.
Great job by Victor Locken, able to offensive rebound, comes up with the basketball, finds Jaden Zachary again. He's using his strength to finish at the rim.
Double-figure advantage coming up on the under 16, so Patrick Crary will likely not use a timeout to slow momentum. Here's Matthews crossing over on Hunter. Shot clock at 4. Matthews, not that time. Tigers looking to build on this 11-point advantage. Schieffelin on Burnside. Can't get the bounce. Schieffelin with the follow.
Great job on the offensive glass. Leads to this 9-2 run right now. Clemson wants to play with some flow off of that miss. Got a post feed. That led to the offensive rebound.
Just 4 points in the game for Ian Schieffelin, but the Tigers with a 13-point advantage, building on their biggest of the night. Bullet inside, Washington, pretty fine by Roderick Coffey.
Tigers had another breakdown in communication right there. It was a split action by the Rattlers. Caleb Washington goes to the rim, and nobody went with him.
Lock-in gives to Wiggins. From the perimeter again, Chauncy Wiggins. Wiggins 3 out of 4 beyond the arc.
Yeah, and that's a big sign as we head into December and the schedule gets harder. Chauncy Wiggins is going to have to step up offensively. Has shot the ball well so far tonight.
Tigers lead is 14. We had 6 lead changes over the opening half of play. Clemson was up by 6 at the break. Coffey with Zachary defending. Now Matthews a catch and shoot. Lid remains on for the Rattlers here in the second half. Been a tough go of it out of the locker room. They're 2 of 7 from the field.
And Coach Carey is trying to get to that media timeout. He might have to use it here now after Chase Hunter knocks down another 3.
Chase Hunter from downtown, and the Tigers made just a couple in the first half, but Wiggins and Hunter heating up here in half number 2.
Yeah, they've matched the total from the first half here in the first 4 minutes.
17-point advantage.
And I actually really like what Patrick Carey is doing right here. He's trying to let his team play through this adversity as Clemson has gone on this run.
Wiggins after Lock-in came up with it. Zachary, why not? Schieffelin going for the board. And a whistle inside. Victor Lock-in. Jaden Zachary playing motivated here in half number 2.
Victor Lock-in continues to do a great job on the offensive glass for the Tigers. Creates the easy basket.
Some of the upcoming home games for the Tigers, some blue bloods in there. Kentucky on Tuesday night at 9:30, part of the SEC ACC Challenge. Memphis returning a game. Tigers played out there last year. Florida State, Duke, and North Carolina in conference play. Of course, the back-to-back home games in February. Blue Devils and then the Tar Heels. This has been talked about, and really you're seeing it, and those teams that are the key games are off to very solid starts. But what a schedule this year, especially in Littlejohn. And Zachary, what a defender he is. Little step through and a reverse. Jaden Zachary from one end to the other.
Great job by Jaden Zachary getting out in the passing lane and then able to avoid the defender. Goes to the reverse layup at the rim.
Zachary building on his night, 13 points. Eatman backing in on Lockett. Tried to get it across the lane. Charles back in there after taking the shot in the opening half, and a foul is called. Jaden Zachary so good at coming up with steals.
Yeah, that's been such a key to his career, his success the first 3 years at Boston College and now at Clemson. Just able to get out in that passing lane. Those are the types of plays where he'll help the Tigers as we head into this harder December and the rest of the grind that you mentioned a minute ago. Doesn't need a play call, can go out and get his own just through a loose ball or an offensive rebound and play at the rim.
Zachary picking up his first personal foul. Low foul count on the Tigers over the opening half of play. 3 team fouls in the second half, just 1 on Florida A&M. Matthews halfway down the lane, and it comes out. Nearly a 3-minute scoring drought for Florida A&M. Hunter, step back. Jordan Chapman couldn't close in time for Florida A&M. Chase Hunter builds on his night.
Clemson continues to be able to play in transition offense when they're able to get a miss. Chase Hunter gets to that midpoint right there again, that midi pull-up, able to knock it down.
13 points for Hunter. He and Zachary leading the Tiger team and all scorers. Coffey was 10 for the Rattlers, giving it away to Chapman. Charles out high, shot clock under 5. Dylan Hunter defends Coffey. He'll fire. Schieffelin. Rebound number 13 in the game to the Tiger big man. He'll load up from 3. Boy, he has had a rough start to the season from beyond the arc.
But you've seen these Tiger starters now with also Dylan Hunter on the floor. A renewed interest on the defensive end to start the second half so far.
Chapman, a senior from Bessemer, Alabama, in his 3rd season in the program. Giving it away, Coffey. Scooping it for Charles. Couldn't finish off the catch. Schieffelin for Dylan Hunter. Lockett backing in. Goes underneath Charles.
Great job by Victor Lockett continuing to use that pivot. The coaching staff has talked to him all year, wanting him to use that left hand a little bit more. He's tried to finish with his right when he turns to that right shoulder. Right there, able to knock that down with his left.
4 Tigers in double figures. Lockett, 10 in the game. Actually give him a dozen now. Matthews gets the attention of Zachary. That's been a big story in the second half, and Lockett just takes it away. Chapman comes up with it. They actually reset the shot clock, and Chapman, his first attempt of the night, knocks it down. Jordan Chapman at 11 points against Trinity in their win about a week ago. Hunter, the answer.
But of the 3 baskets that Florida A&M has gotten so far this half, 2 of them have came off of a loose ball where a Tiger had dived on the floor, unable to come up with it. Florida A&M will capitalize on it. But a great job by the Clemson Tigers of just being able to get on the floor, making those extra effort plays.
16-point game, Chase Hunter. Chapman, past Zachary. Couldn't finish. Schieffelin able to help out. Lock in. Charles right on him. And Lock-in off 1 foot. And a stop for the Rattlers. Those have been few and far between here in the second half. Tigers a 15-2 run before that offensive set, having built this lead out to 24.
But we've seen this game be played in the second half without very many whistles. That's led us to go really deep into the clock. Again, right here, we got some tired guys on the floor for both teams.
Lock-in knocking it away again. 13th turnover forced by the Clemson team. Schieffelin, not a high-scoring night for him after back-to-back 18-point games in Florida, but he'll go to the line with a chance to add on. Ian Schieffelin, Chase Hunter and the Tigers having some fun in this second half.
Chase Hunter does a great job in transition, creating his own shot. Bench loves it.
Our great crew working both the telecast and the in-house video here in Littlejohn Coliseum on this Thanksgiving weekend. Those who are on camera, those back in the control room. That right there is the happiest man on the planet, our audio guy. And there they are in the main control room. You work your way into one of those seats. You've really done something. Or in some cases, maybe the guy who puts it all together was desperate for your presence. Nonetheless, having a great time and doing a wonderful job as always.
By Green at 10:54 is determined to be a three-point shot.
Well, interesting way to phrase it right there.
Absolutely.
And also the technicians who make sure the audio happens. So they went ahead and changed the previous two-pointer by Washington to a three-pointer. And it gives us a 62-39 game. But wonderful crew here.
Yeah,
always love coming and working in on these telecasts because they are phenomenal. And Ian Schieffelin, phenomenal throughout the past few seasons for this Clemson team. Just 5 points now on the night, but he's been clearing the glass with 15 rebounds.
And I want to finish your point about the Clemson video crew because this is our last ESPN Plus game of the year. Rick Bagby and the staff does such a good job of getting Clemson University students involved and giving them that real-world experience. But I particularly like the Christmas lights back in the video room.
They're always very seasonal. Maybe Rick brought in some leftover turkey for them as well. Cap off this holiday weekend. Hunter trying to take it away from Lewis, and then Foster able to deflect it. Lewis gets it back. Tough second half continues for the Rattlers. 3 of 13 now from the field.
So as Coach Brownell starts to sub more in the second half, they want to get Miles Foster going. They got him on the block right there, and he's able to turn to that left-hand jump hook. But Miles started this season so well, 17 points against Charleston Southern, and then kind of struggled to find his way there for a little while. He's going to be able to score the basketball for the Tigers, but the staff really wants to see him grow on the defensive end.
Tiger foul. Foster could be that X factor guy they went out and got in the portal, had to fill that slot on the roster. And Hunter taking it away, and then the foul. And probably not the worst to be committed by Lewis, because it would have been a pick 6 for Chase Hunter. Came into the night 10 steals on the year, second on the Tiger team.
And to continue that point about Miles Foster, as Kentucky gets ready to come in here on Tuesday, last season at Illinois State, Mr. Foster had 20 points and 15 rebounds. So he's shown that he can score the ball against that highest level of competition where the length is a little bit more. Continuing to work to get into that rhythm, though, as the season goes along.
Foster comes out, applies the screen. He was one of the best rebounders in the CAA when he was at Monmouth a couple of years ago. So he can bring a lot off the bench for this Clemson team. Wiggins backing in low on Chapman. And he'll go to the line.
And that's been a part of Chauncy Wiggins' game that the coaching staff has really wanted to see grow. He had some big post-ups, especially in the second half against Penn State, where whenever he is playing that small forward position and he's got a smaller guy against him, Coach Brad Burnell and the staff can go settle him down in the post. He doesn't get in a hurry. He'll take his time and pivot, able to draw the foul right there.
Chauncy Wiggins came into the game just 4 of 8 on free throws on the season. Tonight he's now 5 for 5, so he's made more than he had in the previous 7 games. Tigers really flipping the script in this game over the first few minutes coming out of the halftime locker room. They were up by just 6 at the break. They have been dominant here, outscoring the Florida A&M team 27-7 in the second half. Pass inside, Hendricks had it knocked away. First Chase Hunter, then Dylan Hunter. As Jacoby Hendricks just checked in. Dylan Hunter can't knock it down. Foster hit the deck. We'll see who committed the foul as we take a timeout here in Littlejohn. Brad Brownell's team picked in the top 5 for a second straight year in the ACC, but for the 4 years prior to that, they pretty much did exceed expectations in most of those seasons.
They have. That's going to be a little bit more of a challenge this year now. You know, the being picked 4th speaks more to the consistency of the program maybe than the roster. But those are lofty expectations.
Highest prediction for the Tigers in the ACC since they were picked 3rd in 2009 and 10. That Clemson team, Oliver Purnell's final season, made the NCAA tourney yet again for a 3rd straight time. And then Brad Brownell, of course, took the 2010 and 11 team to the NCAA tourney, almost made it to the ACC championship game, and an overtime loss against North Carolina in Greensboro in the semis. Shot clock running out of the Tigers. Looked like they were trying to set something up, run a play with only Hunter out there, along with Wiggins as the starters. More minutes tonight for Miles Foster than some recent games, seeing the fact he didn't get on the floor in the game against Penn State down at Daytona Beach on Tuesday.
And Coach Brad Brownell and the staff, they're trying to feed confidence into Mr. Foster, trying to give him some opportunities to get going a little bit.
Eatman couldn't finish, but Chapman going way up above the basket.
Great job by Jordan Chapman, being able to get to the glass, tipping that in. I love the energy right now that you're seeing from the Rattlers. Seeing Coach Carey on the sideline, his energy level, cheering for his team. They know that there's bigger days ahead in the SWAC, but they're continuing to stay positive and play hard.
Jones, the freshman. Rebound, Foster, and one.
That's exactly what Mr. Foster can do for the Tigers. Got to be active on the offensive glass and then be able to stick it back in.
He's only 6'6", but he plays much bigger.
Plays with a great motor as much as anything else. Able to go and get that rebound. Miles Foster's got really long arms, so he's able to elevate, go get that rebound, and then step through and finish it with his left hand.
Off the bench, Foster, his first free throw attempt of the night, and he will hold on 4 points. 54% of the line when the night began. Rattlers now with Hendricks, Louisville native, came to them from Indiana U Southeast, trying to get the ball away. That's an NAIA school. Here's Washington out high. FAMU just 9 points in the second half. Chapman will change that. Opportunity to 4-point play. Second time tonight a 3-point shooter has been fouled when making it.
Great shot by Jordan Chapman right there. Florida A&M's leading returning scorer from last year. You mentioned it earlier, Pete. Only 3 returners, averaged 5 points per game last year, but able to come off of this ball screen. Caleb Foster finds Jordan Chapman, able to knock down the wide open 3 and get to the free throw line for the rare 4-point play.
They were just 6 and 23 a year ago, but guys like Chapman can come off the bench, contribute like that. They should do better. They were 4 and 14 in the SWAC and picked 9 in a 12-team league. They were picked 11th this year. Grambling State picked to win the Southwestern Athletic Conference. Dylan Hunter will now go to the line. Washington picks up the personal.
Great job by Dylan Hunter, able to get that outlet pass, play downhill, not to play against a set defense. Gets fouled and is headed to the free throw line.
Really a matter of just kind of trying to get to know each other over these first few months of the season for the Florida A&M team. For Dylan Hunter, who scored just a couple of points against Penn State in the Tigers' victory down in Daytona Beach with a timeout called between free throws. We'll continue that thought after we take a quick timeout. Told you the Tigers picked 4th in the ACC preseason poll. There's what it looks like above and below. Wake Forest among those getting a first place vote. Duke and North Carolina, they've had their moments so far. And of course, that poll, I believe, was done before Tony Bennett made his big announcement at Virginia.
And the big thing that stands out to me in this poll is as we think about these Thanksgiving week tournaments, we've had some teams have some big wins, but particularly the Louisville Cardinals, who are playing right now in that championship game, off to a great start under first-year coach Pat Kelsey.
Dominating the then unbeaten Indiana Hoosiers. Backdoor, and O'Neal quiet so far after he scored 26 against Trinity a week ago, but a pretty feed from Jacoby Hendricks.
Great back screen action right there by Florida A&M out of the timeout, leads to a wide open dunk. That's the 3rd one so far tonight.
Heidbreeder, the smooth touch, the Air Force transfer. Able to knock one down.
Much needed for Jake Heidbreeder. Had a couple of games where he hasn't scored the basketball. Sees that first one go in the net.
Tigers have turned this into a rout after it was a 6-point Clemson lead at the half. O'Neal was a 3-star coming out of high school in Los Angeles. Began his career at Texas Southern, giving it away to Eatman, feeding Chapman in the lane. Wiggins hangs him up there. Heidbreeder also helping on defense. Under 5 on the shot clock. Down to 2. Won't go for Chapman. Dylan Hunter. Now Foster. Lost the handle. Hendricks to O'Neal. O'Neal. They've made 7 threes on the night, but their percentage continues to go down here in the second half.
And they've made some hard threes as well. Clemson has done a good job contesting the majority of them. The Florida A&M is a good shooting team. They're averaging 7 made threes per game. That's where they're at tonight going into this.
Del Jones grew up in Landover, Maryland, just east of Washington, D.C. Brad Brownell calling a timeout. He wants to sub some guys in. And we will take a timeout as well. So a couple of guys coming off the bench and knocking him down from long range. Clemson also doing some good work.
Great execution right here by the Rattlers on this back screen action for the dunk. And then Jake Heidbreeder able to knock down the open 3 on the wing.
Well, Patrick Crary's Florida A&M Rattlers hung in here for the first half. Upcoming schedule, another South Carolina team home against the Blue Hose of Presbyterian, and they'll face Trinity on December 6th. They go out west. A couple more of those guarantee games in the Salt Lake City area. The Utes and then the Cougars of BYU among those games coming up for Florida A&M.
And then right after that Tarleton State game, they'll get into league play with Bethune-Cookman, another Florida school in their league. Huge matchup in the SWAC.
Really nice play. It had been a quiet second half for Milton Matthews, but he's now in double figures with 11 points. A few years ago, Florida A&M and Bethune-Cookman, they were the two Florida schools in the MEAC. They elected to go out to the WAC. Reeves able to avoid any kind of rim interference and getting the tip in. And Christian Reeves with his first bucket of the night. And that changed the look of the MEAC, and they went away from playing longtime rivals like South Carolina State, Howard, among others. Matthews, not that time. Good job by Burnside, out to Coffey. Wide open. Roderick Coffey, who had not made a three-pointer on the season coming in, able to get that one to go down. And he's 3 of 6 on the night beyond the arc.
Yeah, Roderick Coffey now with 13 points. That's a huge positive for Coach Carey as they move forward from here.
Reeves, the Duke transfer, limited action a year ago with an injury. Brad Brownell wants to see just that. Toughness, needs him to get more acclimated and get more aggressive down close to the basket.
Great catch there with 2 hands. Took the ball up strong, able to finish it at the rim.
Tigers will go 4-0 all time against the Rattlers. Washington stepped out of bounds.
Christian Reeves does a great job here of just continuing to pursue the play, able to tip it in. Great patience as well to not touch it while it was on the rim. And then Roderick Coffey, we talked about it a minute ago, 13 points tonight. Huge spark for Coach Carey and the Rattlers.
Jones made a 3 earlier, defended by Washington. Strong move on him, right off the glass. You can see all the potential in Del Jones, highly celebrated recruit. Picked the Tigers over the likes of Oregon and West Virginia, among others. Arizona State was in there, and Clemson got him to come down here from Landover, Maryland. On the wing, Chapman. He's felt it in the second half.
Great job by Jordan Chapman. That's his 3rd 3 tonight. Has shot the ball well. That's the 9th 3 for the Rattlers. Outstanding shooting team has shot the ball well against the Tigers.
A lob down low. Reeves wasn't ready for it, able to save it, but to the wrong team. Chapman back to Coffey. Good ball movement. Washington. And Reeves getting the rebound. He did a nice job boxing out the 6'11 Jameen Charles. Loose ball coming down in the hands of Chapman. Reeves is all of 7'2", walking by him in the tunnel coming in tonight, and he was heading back up to the locker room. He is a massive figure.
I've been impressed with Christian Reeves. I know he hasn't gotten into a great rhythm early in the season, but every time that I've been around the team, whether it's in practice or watching a game, he always has a smile on his face. Coach Brad Brownell has talked about that it's a new lease on his basketball life, that he's just really enjoyed Clemson. And so what you're betting on now as the coaching staff is that development that this program has been built upon, if you can do that with 3 years for Christian Reeves, got a chance to be a really high-level player by the time it's all said and done.
Andrew Latif, Matt Kelly, and Daniel Nassif checking in for the Clemson team. Brad Brownell able to get some guys on the floor who do such great work in practice. They were vital during the shoot-around this morning, trying to demonstrate the zone that Clemson would see. And Asa Thomas, who came on the floor a bit ago, hits another 3. Somebody who could become an X factor as they get more into ACC play, and they need someone to extend the floor in the offensive end.
Yeah, Asa Thomas, one thing about him, when he checks in the game, if he gets an open look, he's going to shoot the basketball. And he's done a really good job of that so far this season. He's now 4 of 6 on the year from 3. I'm like you, Pete. I think that he's a guy that you've got to continue to find some opportunities for because of his ability to shoot.
Now 6 team fouls on Clemson in the second half. And Chapman, the one who will inbound for the Rattlers. And Reeves battling as it went to Charles. Under a minute to play. This Thanksgiving weekend game. Tigers now get ready for the Kentucky Wildcats at 9:30 on Tuesday night. Boy, contested 3 goes down for Matthews. Give him 14 in the game.
Milton Matthews, a guy that scored 40 points twice during his time at St. Thomas with Coach Carey, made 11 threes in a game one time last year. You can quickly see where he has the chance to be a high-level scorer for the Rattlers this season.
Thomas lobbing for Reeves. Reeves gets the roll.
And I know it's late in the game, but that's a high-level play for Christian Reeves to go up there and grab that basketball with 2 hands, come down and make that power bounce into a right-handed jump hook. That's a play that they'll be able to build upon.
86-58. Rattlers will try to get to 60 on the night, and the drive to the bucket. Chapman. We saw Kelly hit the deck, but instead they're going to get Reeves with the foul.
So just as we praised Christian Reeves on the offensive end, now on the defensive end, Clemson has a huge emphasis in practice of playing without fouling. And you've seen that tonight. This is only going to be the 5th free throw that the Rattlers have attempted. But you've got to stay vertical right there. Keep your hands straight up. Make Jordan Chapman play over the top of your 7'2". Those arms come down. Most of those officials are going to blow the whistle and call a foul.
Chapman. Well, he got poked in the eye, so they give him some time to walk it off. Out of Bessemer, Alabama, Bo Jackson's hometown, and really just around the corner from where Dabo Swinney grew up in the Birmingham area. One of 2 players from that neck of the woods on their roster. Darius Eatman, their big man, the other. Chapman now 5 of 7 on the season on free throws. Can't get the roll. Reeves the rebound. Tigers likely just to dribble it out, and will come away with an 86-58 victory over the Rattlers of Florida A&M, a Clemson team that improves to 7-1 on the season. FAMU falls to 1-5. Another one of those high major games on the road for them.